we had finished up to the 14th Sutra of Narada Bhakti Sutra. Today we have to start with the 15th one. So over here in this section that we are going to handle now, we have the various rishis or acharyas giving to us their opinion about bhakti. It doesn't mean that there are different opinions completely disaligned with each other. All of them are right. It's the acharya's perspective of what bhakti is. But bhakti is all of them put together. So over here in the 15th sutra over here, the teacher is telling us tat lakshanani vachyante nana mata bhedat. Tat lakshanani. Lakshanas means characteristics. Whose characteristics are we going to now talk about? The characteristics of bhakti or devotion. Vachyante, it has been so said, or our acharyas and rishis declare that these are the characteristics of bhakti according to them. Nana mata bhedat. Nana means different. Mata means opinion. So each one of them slightly differs in their opinion. Bheda means differences. So each one of them comes forward and gives to us one characteristic of bhakti which they feel is important. But it doesn't mean the others are not important. Actually, when we go through it, we will realize all of them are interconnected with each other. Just to make things easy for us, one by one, the characteristics are brought in front of us, and afterwards we have to see them in totality. So over here, that's what the 15th. So therefore, the 15th sutra tells us that different acharyas, due to their difference in opinion, have given out various characteristics of bhakti. What are they? One by one, they are all enumerated for us. In the 16th sutra, Pujadishu Anuraga iti Parasharyaha. Bhagavan Vedavyas. So first person over here to be introduced to us is Bhagavan Vedavyasa. Because without him, we wouldn't have had the scriptures at all in front of us. He is the one who classified all the knowledge that was there earlier and put it into 4 different sections, Vedas. Then he gave to us the Puranas. He gave to us the Mahabharata. And in the Puranas, we have so many Gitas. It's not only that in the Mahabharata, there is the Bhagavad Gita and only that we know. Every Purana consists of so many Gitas. So many Gitas are there. And again in the Puranas, Sahasranamas come. Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama, Shiva Sahasranama. Where do they all originate from? They all originate from the Puranas. So he has given to us so many. Without invoking Bhagavan Vedavyasa, we can't enter into anything. Brahma Sutras he has given to us. So what is it that this great Acharya has not given to us? Therefore, we find him being over here enumerated right in the beginning. So Bhagavan Vedavyasa, what is his opinion about devotion? His opinion is Pujadishu Anuragaha. Raga means attachment. Anuraga, whenever Anu is added to anything, it means continuous. So continuous attachment. Continuous doesn't mean 24/7, 365 days. We are not continuously for 24 hours sitting in the puja room doing puja, or we are in the temple over there. Over here it means it's more of the intensity with which we worship the Lord. It's more quality than the quantity over here. So irrespective of how much of time we spend in the puja room worshipping our Ishtadevata, or how much of time we spend in the temple over there, it's more of how much we are connecting with the Lord. That is what Anuraga means over here. So there should be an intense connectivity or a connection with the Lord whom we are worshipping, whom we are praying to, puja, whomever we are worshipping. So therefore he says, Pujadishu Anuragaha, he said. So whatever worship we are doing, because varieties of rituals are there in our tradition. We have got so many rituals that have been given to us. And these rituals that have been given to us are not just something meaningless, no routine, mechanical. We don't understand why we are doing it. Somebody has given it to us, therefore we are doing it. It's very, very unscientific. No, it is very scientific. All the rituals that we do are a dramatization of what actually should be happening within us. What should be happening within us? Self-integration should be happening within us, first of all. All our equipment should align with each other. So once self-integration happens, then only self-purification and then self-realization can happen. The entire process is an inner journey for us. There is nothing that we need to accomplish outside of us. But this inner journey is very, very difficult for us to contemplate on the Lord as given out by our teachers, whatever technique they give to us, method of meditation, and then to reach the Lord, the nameless, the formless, the attributeless is very, very difficult for the majority of us. Why? Because we are very much familiar and comfortable with using our mind. That's a very, very powerful instrument that we all have with us. So anything that is there within the realm of the mind, we are comfortable. Anything which is not there within the realm of the mind and in mind is very, it's very uncomfortable for us. It's difficult for us to go through the entire process of spiritual sadhana within ourselves. So therefore, what our acharyas have done is, whatever we need to accomplish within ourselves, they have very beautifully externalized it all for us. They've actually dramatized it all for us in the form of rituals. So the rituals are not just something haphazard, very scientific they are, very meaningful they are, very purposeful and useful they are in our spiritual evolution. And the rituals are varied. So simple things like performing abhishekam to the Lord, lighting the lamp, offering flowers to the Lord, then the dhupa and the deepa, the naivedyam that we offer to the Lord, the breaking of the coconut, the arati that we perform to the Lord, and then finally our pradakshina and namaskar to the Lord. All of them constitute rituals, some of the important rituals. All of them are very, very significant and suggestive to us. What we should be accomplishing within us has all been put outside of us. Not only what we do, but what material we use also. Lighting the lamp, we use the lamp, then we have the ghee over there or the oil over there, the wick over there. The flowers that we use to worship the Lord. Then the dhupa, what is it made up of? The agarbatti. Can we use anything? No, we can't use everything. Patra and pushpa. For Lord Vishnu, we offer tulsi. For Shiva, we offer bilva. So why is it that we use only these particular leaves and not any other leaf? Why these particular flowers are used? Why the naivedyam? Why the fruits offered to the Lord? Why the arati, varieties of arati? Why the ghantanada or the shankanada? And why all the mantras that we chant, the prayers that we chant? Why is it that we do exactly the way we do our namaskar? Why can't it be done in some other way? Why should we offer a coconut, breaking the coconut over there? Whenever we go to the temple, we carry a coconut also with us. So why all these things? It's a very beautiful interpretation to all of them. And when we are doing our puja rituals, whether we are doing it in our puja room or whether we are doing it in the temple or the purohit is doing it in the temple, all our sense organs should be involved. Our acharyas who have given to us these techniques of worship, puja vidhi, they made sure that all our equipment are involved over there. What is the equipment that we have? We have a physical body. Physical body consists of Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. So eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, hands, legs, body posture, everything is taken care of over there. And of course the mind and the intellect. All of them should align themselves. All of them should jointly be participating in the puja over there. So our rituals make sure that all of our equipment are participating. And also what all material we use for worshipping the Lord. Why the kumkum? Why the haridra? Why not any other two colors? Why the yellow color and the red color? And what material it is made up of also. That's also very important. So all of them have been very, very beautifully taken care of. It's not just haphazard. Now our New Year Yugadi is around the corner. Why the mango leaves are used? For decorating the main door, for decorating the puja room door. Why the neem leaves? Why not any other leaves? Then why jasmine flowers are used extensively during this Chaitra Masa? There is a reason for all of them. So even the material that we use for the lamp, what oil we should be using. We can't use any oil that we want. How should the wick be? What material it should be made up of? Why all of when the material on one side, we on the other side, who are performing the puja. All our equipment should be engaged over there in the puja. And it should be a complete all-round therapy for us. It should become a healing process for us. It should be very, very soothing. It should be peaceful. It should even rehabilitate us also. And make a broken personality into a wholesome personality. Therefore, it becomes very important. What we do and what material we use also. So therefore, there is visual therapy because eyes are involved. There is audio therapy, whatever mantras we are chanting or we are hearing. There is aroma therapy, what all fragrances reach our nose. Whether it is the patra or whether it is a pushpa or whether it is the fragrance of the tirtham, anything it can. Aroma, rasa therapy, prasadam that we have afterwards. And then even the sparsha therapy. Because every material we are going to handle it with our hand. So we are connected with the material. Every material has its own frequency of vibration. It emits energy. So is it good energy that I am connecting with, or is it not good energy that I am connecting with? So sparsha therapy also comes over there. Then of course the mind is involved, the intellect is involved, the body posture is involved. How we are sitting for the puja, how we must do our namaskar, everything. How we should do archana to the Lord, 108 names. How should we pick up a flower, how we should offer it to the Lord. There is a whole science behind it all. If we know what we are doing and why we are doing, that means anurag. Means the purpose gets served over there. So therefore over here, Bhagavan Vedavyasa says, a deep love, an intense attachment. And it's not just an attachment, very superficial. Bhakti, where bhakti, shraddha also should be there. We are doing it with faith. So there is a conviction. We know what we are doing, how we are doing. And we know the purpose also. So the fulfillment, we are very clear about how the puja is going to get fulfilled when we do it the way we are supposed to do it. So therefore, Vyasa Bhagavan says, worshipping according to him, he says, worshipping the Lord with anuraga. So it's not mechanical doing. Somehow or the other, I should finish it. So we look at the watch and we look at the time and somehow or the other go through it. We go through the puja rather than the puja going through us. Somehow or the other, we finish today's puja. It's not like that. He says with attachment it should be done. And when he says attachment, love should be there, faith should be there, conviction should be there also. According to him, that is the characteristic of bhakti. One of the viewpoints over here. Again over here, puja doesn't only mean the rituals. Krishna has already extensively given out to us in the Bhagavad Gita that all our activities, day-to-day activities outside the puja room, outside of the temple, in our homes, in the marketplace, wherever we are working, in our office, all activities, small, little, significant to insignificant activities, daily routine activities. He says all of them you can convert it into a puja. So all of that is nothing but work. We cook, maybe we teach our children when they come back from school. We go to the market to buy whatever we want. We go to the office and then transact. We do our duties, whatever our duties and responsibilities are there. They all come under karma activity. How should we be doing all of them? So if we do it with I and mine, that is not worship. That is not a yajna. That sort of a karma which we do with I and mine over there will bind us, is what Krishna tells us in the 3rd chapter. That karma will bind us. On the other hand, he says the same karma, if we do it without I, without mine, and if we offer it onto the Lord, both the karma as well as the karma pala, starting actually from the willing and the wishing also. It's not my will, it is Bhagavan's will that I enter into this particular field of activity. And when we are going through the activity also, it's not I who is performing it, but it is Bhagavan himself who is using me as an instrument for his work. So therefore I feel very, very fortunate and blessed to be in the hands of the Lord. He is using me as his instrument. What more can we wish for? Then when the karma pala comes also, the end product, since willing and wishing was not ours, it was all Bhagavan's will, Hari Chitta, since he alone performed whatever he wanted to perform through us, the pala also naturally belongs to him, and therefore we offer it on to him. Later on he will give it back to us to enjoy that karma pala. But when it comes back to him, comes back from him, it becomes prasadam for us. Prasadam can never ever bind us. It comes from him. So how can it bind us? When we do when we perform our day-to-day activities like this, the same routine materialistic activities, Krishna says over there in the Gita that it becomes a worship. Work becomes worship. Karma becomes karma yoga. Karma becomes a yajna. When we say yajna, we know we are immediately associated with the homa done for the Lord, in front of the Lord. So all our day-to-day activities, which we feel boring, monotonous, I don't know why I have to do it, all of them can be converted into a puja. All of them can be converted into a yajna, just by bringing the right attitude in our mind. So that also gets included in this puja over here. So when Bhagavan Vyasa says, according to him, bhakti is love, puja done with love and faith, it doesn't mean only what we do or what we perform in the puja room and in the temple. He means all our activities from the moment we get up in the morning till we go off to sleep at night. So this is according to Vedavyasa. So he has told us, according to him, anuraga in puja, in performing puja to the Lord, is bhakti. That was Sutra number 16. Sutra number 17, it says, Katadishu iti Gargaha. Garga Maharshi, what does he think? Or according to him, what is bhakti? According to him, he says, reveling in the stories of the Lord. Stories of the glories of the Lord. According to him is bhakti. Actually, therefore, whatever Vyasa Bhagavan has said and whatever Gargacharya has said, both of them constitute bhakti. In fact, we are doing all of them also. But each one's standpoint has been given over here. So he says, according to him, reveling in the stories of the Lord. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. So it's not just puja, because constantly all the time we can't be sitting in the puja room. But now we know all our activities, we should be performing them like a puja or like a worship of the Lord. All activity, materialistic as well as our sacred activities. Here over here Gargacharya says to revel in the stories of the Lord. Stories of the Lord, what do they indicate to us? Over there, any of the Puranas, if we take up, whichever deity we are talking about, all the stories over there, which are there in the Puranas, talk about the Lord's Leelas. It's only talking about the Lord's glories, the beautiful qualities that the Lord, the deity possesses. So whenever we are going through the stories, whether we are reading it, or whether we are hearing it, or whether we are discussing it, sometimes we sit down and share stories, narrate to each other, and try to get at the meaning of the story over there. What is the message that the story is giving to me? So there are various forms wherein we can involve ourselves in Bhagavan's Katha. Why should we enter into the Katha of the Lord? What is it over there? The Katha only is glorifying the Lord, all His glories, and also the beautiful divine qualities and attributes that He has. Why should we go through them again and again and again and again? The more we go into the glories of the Lord, the more we discuss or we read or we hear the beautiful divine qualities of the Lord, it goes into us. Because the characters in any story of the Puran, all the characters, it's not only Bhagavan, so many characters come in the story. They're all very, very powerful characters. It's not like a fictional story. Fictional story also can carry a message for us. Tinku and Chinku, a small story about them, two friends, and maybe there is a message also over there. But those characters will not be so powerful as to influence us, this Tinku and Chinku. Whereas when we go into the stories that are there in the Puranas or the Ramayana, Bhagavad Purana, any of the Puranas, Mahabharata, all the characters are very, very powerful characters over there. They leave a lasting impression on us. That's how the characters have been characterized or etched out over there. That is why so much of importance given to stories that come in our Puranas, stories that come in our epics, and of course the life of saints also. Very, very powerful stories they are all. And when the glories of the Lord or our saints enter into us, slowly, slowly, something will happen to us within us. It becomes a part and parcel of us, slowly, slowly. Once it becomes, and even the divine qualities of the Lord, the more we think about His divine quality, the more we read about His divine quality, the more we hear about His divine qualities, it just keeps going inside us again and again and again and again. As it keeps going into us, the frequency becomes more, slowly it will become a part of us. When it becomes a part of us, slowly we will start accepting those qualities. So the divine qualities of the Lord will become our own qualities. Why? We are thinking about it. Constantly we are thinking about the glories of the Lord, what He did, why He did whatever He did. All the beautiful divine qualities that are there enshrined in Him, Ananta Kalyana Guna Paripurna we say. So each one of those character qualities, as we go on thinking about it again and again and again and again, as we think, so we become. Slowly, slowly the qualities will settle in us and become a part of us. It will become an integral part of us. And afterwards, whenever we are expressing ourselves in the outer world, these qualities will slowly come out of us. So of course then we would have changed. People can make out the difference also. She was like this or he was like this. Now they have changed for the better. How did we change? It's because of the stories. That's why it's so important for us, this katha. Storytelling was a very, very important, even now, is a very important tradition, our tradition. Grandmothers used to have all the time in the world to narrate stories to the children. Parents also had. Nowadays parents don't have time. And many of the stories parents also do not know. But parents, father, mother, and the best time will be when they are sleeping, when children are sleeping. Why? They are relaxed. Mind needs to be relaxed. So that whatever is being put inside, we will be able to absorb it. So when we are going off to sleep at night, we children are relaxed. Parents are also relaxed because they've finished off the work for the day. So they are also relaxed. And before the children go off to sleep, one small little story. It stays in the child because with the story the child goes off to sleep. It stays in its subconscious. And we also, when we narrate the story to the child, we are also going off to sleep with this beautiful story in our mind. We are not thinking of anything else. Good for us also. Morning when we get up, first thing we will remember is the story will come up in our mind. The beautiful story that we told to the children or grandparents. Nowadays they have this bedtime stories, night stories, grandma stories. Grandma stories means stories told to children at night. So it's nothing new that has come up now. From time immemorial, this art of storytelling by parents and by grandparents to children has been there in our tradition. So storytelling occupies a very, very important place, even in satsangs. We have Ramayana Saptaha, Bhagavad Saptaha. No doubt, every story has got a significance behind it, an inner significance, a suggestiveness over there, a very, very subtle message for all of us, spiritual message. But then whoever is doing the storytelling will first tell the story. None of us get bored. How many times we must have heard the Ramayana? How many times we must have heard the same stories from the Puranas or from the Mahabharata? We will never ever feel bored. Unlike the fictional stories. Their routine is there, monotony is there. We don't want to go back to those stories again and again. But these are something so different. How many ever times we tell, every time we tell a story, there is something new over there for the child. And there is something new also for the one who is narrating it. Till now this thought did not come to me about this particular character, but now it has come to me. Why? We are going deeper and deeper and deeper into the story and to the characters that are there in the story. Therefore, storytelling becomes very, very important. And through the stories, we connect with the Lord. We connect with the characters. So, children become fascinated with Hanumanji. Children become fascinated with Bharata. So, Hanumanji was the Superman long back. A real Superman. So, children get fascinated. And therefore, they try to imbibe some little qualities of maybe Hanumanji or the Pandavas or Angada or Sugriva or Bharata or Lakshmana. So, all these characters are very, very powerful, and therefore, storytelling is a must. Not only for children, even for elders. In fact, even in the Upanishad, so many stories are there. Through stories, we get the message. And even to this day, Acharyas, when they are teaching us the subtlest of philosophies also, now and then, they will do a little bit of storytelling for us so that whatever they want to put across, we will be able to understand it properly. So, Katha is very, very important in our tradition. So, therefore, Gargacharya says to revel in stories of the glories of the Lord, according to him, he says, is bhakti. One of the characteristics of bhakti over him. So two have already been suggested to us. One is intense longing or intense participating, a loving participation with all faith and conviction in the worship that we are doing of the Lord. That was according to Veda Vyasa. And according to Gargacharya over here, story. So it can be reading, it can be telling, it can be hearing, it can be anything. So that is according to Gargacharya in the 17th Sutra. In the 18th Sutra over here, it is said, Atmarati avirodhena iti Shandilyaha. Shandilya Maharshi. So all Acharya's names are coming over here. According to him, what is the main characteristic of bhakti? According to him, the main characteristic of bhakti is Atmarati. With that whole word we will divide it into 2, 3 and then understand the meaning. Atman means the inner self that is there in us. What is that Atman? Atman is none other than Paramatma himself, who is dwelling in us. If we are a Nirguna Upasana, we will call it Brahman or the Om factor or the pure consciousness in us. But if we are a Saguna Upasaka, then to that same Atman we will call it as Krishna, Rama, Shiva. Shiva is there. Lord Shiva is residing in my heart. Lord Rama is residing in my heart. Or Lord Krishna is residing in my heart. Or Devi is residing in my heart. So that is that Atman factor over there. So Atmarati means to revel in. To revel in what? Constantly to revel in thinking of that Atman that is there in us, because of which we are whatever we are, because of which we are able to perform physically, mentally and intellectually. So for a person who is dwelling upon Brahman, it becomes he is reveling constantly in that factor called Brahman, which is there within him, which he has become or which he has experienced. For all of us Bhaktas who are worshipping Rama or Shiva or Devi or Hanumanji or whatever it is, Atman represents our Ishta Devata over there. Reveling in, thinking of constantly the Lord. Constantly we are always thinking of anything other than the Lord. Majority of the time. Even in the puja room when we are worshipping the Lord, our mind will go off somewhere else. It will either go off to the kitchen or some other activity which we have just left half and we have come to do puja in the puja room. So we are there in the puja room, we are engaged in the worship of the Lord, but where is the mind? Mind is not reveling in what it is supposed to be reveling in. Mind is reveling in something else. So constantly, Anugalavu Chinte Jivakke, Dasaru says. Something or the other will be occupying our mind, preoccupying our mind, other than Atman, other than God. So therefore he says, Anugalavu Chinte, every moment you are thinking of this or thinking of that. Why don't you think of Purandara Vitala? Purandara Vitalana Chinte, Vande Nischinte, he says. One of the greatest bhaktas, Purandara Dasar. So instead of thinking of that and instead of thinking of this which will not do any good to us, he says, why don't you think of the Lord, Purandara Vitala? To do chintan of him will lead you to nischinte, will lead you to peace, will lead you to bliss. What more do you want is what he is saying over there. One more song, Devarnama is there. He says, Narajanma bandaga nalige iruvaga Krishna yanabarade. It is not mechanically repeating Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Like how you teach a parrot, they say if you teach a parrot, it will repeat. It just repeats. It doesn't know the significance of anything of what it is repeating. When we repeat Krishna, Krishna or Shiva, Shiva, we should do it meaningfully, feelingfully and purposefully. We have to connect with the Lord. When we say once Krishna, we should have connected with him. When we say Rama, we should have connected with him. At least at that moment. Simply to say Rama Rama and the mind somewhere else won't serve the purpose. Or Shiva Shiva. Means we think of the Lord. We are reveling in the thoughts of the Lord over there. That is what Atmarati means. It can be Ramarati or Shiva reveling in Lord Shiva, reveling in the thoughts of Rama, reveling in the thoughts of Krishna. So over here the teacher is generalizing and saying, using the word Atma over here. So Atma Rati means to revel in the Lord. Constantly we should revel in the Lord. Means constantly think of Him. So that's what Dasaru says. Nara Janma Bandaga Naligi Iruvaga Krishnayana Bharade, he says. Why do you think of this and why do you think of that? Anything, just say Krishna. Anything, say Shiva Shiva. Instead of saying Ayoyo. They say when winter goes away and spring is coming. How does winter go away? Winter, Shivaratri is the time when the climate changes. Slowly the climate changes. Nothing in nature happens suddenly, in jerks. It's all a slow transition because the sun has turned around during Makara Sankranti and slowly is coming towards us. So it's becoming warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer. Summer is still far ahead, but spring comes in, warmth will come into us. Nature will be at her creative best. That's what we call a spring, Vasanta Ritu. So up till Shivaratri, it's cold. Still coldness is there. Though Makara Sankranti has happened and the sun has turned. After that, during Shivaratri, there is a complete change in the climate. We can observe it. So very nicely, that's how our grandmothers and grandfathers used to say. They would say, Chadi means winter. How does it go away? It says Shiva Shiva and goes away. Because Shivaratri is the time. It's all a way of teaching us. For anything, don't say Ayoyo. Whenever there is a change, any change we say Ayoyo. Ayoyo doesn't make any sense at all. It's not at all beneficial. So these were all suggested so beautifully to us, taking things from nature. See, even when winter goes away, it doesn't say Ayoyo and goes away. It says Shiva Shiva and goes away. How nice it is. So if winter can say Shiva Shiva and go away, why not we also, when changes happen in our life, why can't we also say Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Shiva Shiva, or whatever be our Ishta Devata, his name or her name. It will do good to us. That's what Dasaru says. Get up in the morning, you stretch yourself and make some funny sounds. Say Krishna Krishna and stretch yourself. When you've eaten up to the throat, means fully, no more will go inside, not even another single morsel will go. That much we have overeaten and naturally we start belching. He says, say Krishna Krishna and belch, he says. It's so beautiful how we can bring the Lord into our lives. Small little activities like this. So constantly when we bring in the Lord into our lives, whether it is Rama or whether it is Krishna or whether it is Shiva, what are we doing in? We are engaging in the thoughts of the Lord. We are reveling in consciously and unconsciously. We are reveling in His thoughts. That is what is Atmarati. And he says, Atmarati avirodhena. Means it should never be opposed. There should be no hindrance to it at all. Means constantly Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna should be there in us, or Rama Rama should be there, or Brahman should be there in our, Om should be there. Whatever it be which we are comfortable with. So instead of thinking something within ourselves, the teacher is telling us over here, think of the Lord. That's all he is saying. That itself is bhakti, is what Shandilya Maharshi is saying over here. So there should be no opposition to it. There should be no hindrance to it. Constantly it should be Krishna Krishna or Shiva Shiva. Why should we take any other name? Let's take the Lord's name. In good times and in bad times. Not so good times. Anything happens. Instead of saying something else through our mouth, or instead of thinking something silently, let us think of the Lord. Or if we utter something loudly, let us utter the Lord's name. Slowly, thereby doing, we are connecting with the Lord. The frequency of thinking of the Lord, his thoughts will become more and more and more and more in us. When the frequency of Bhagavan's thoughts become more in us, the frequency of other thoughts will slowly decrease in us. The best example is so many of our saints who have lived it. Constantly they have lived. Tyagaraja Swami, in even the rituals, just now we saw Pujadishu Anuragaha. Morning, just as he wakes, he sees in front of him not a deity over there made up of some material in his puja room. For him it is living Rama there. So just as he gets up in the morning, he says, my Rama also should get up in the morning. And therefore there is a beautiful Suprabhatam song. Kirtan is there. Wake up Rama. There is a lovely Kirtan over there. They are called as Divyanama Kritis. They are called as Utsav Sampradaya Kritis. Small little songs over there. For every ritual, almost there is a song. So waking up the Lord, there is a song. Giving a bath to him, of course there is a song. Dressing him up, there is a song. And then for all the other rituals, offering flowers to him, he says, if I don't have flowers, it's okay. Outside external flowers like jasmine, etc., all the other flowers, varieties, I don't have, but I have your name. Every name of yours is a flower. So I offer Nama Kusumalu, he says. Your names itself I offer to you as flowers. So for everything there is a beautiful song. For Naivedyam there is a song. Lighting the lamp there is. Receiving the Lord into the house there is a song. And finally putting the Lord to sleep also. Along with the Tambulam. So that is what is called as Pujadishu Anuraga. All of himself absorbed and engaged in that ritual over there, in that puja over there. So constantly it is only Rama and Rama and Rama for him, for Tyagaraja Swami. So therefore over here, according to Shandilya Maharishi over here, he says, Atmarati should be there constantly and consistently, and it should not be opposed at all. Make sure that there is no hindrance, come what may, think of the Lord. So for thinking of the Lord, there should be no opposition. There should be no hindrance to it. Nothing should become an obstacle to it, whatever be the reason. According to Shandilya Maharshi, this is one of the characteristics, or this is the main characteristic of Bhakti. Sutra 18. So we had three rishis over here being indicated. One was Bhagavan Vedavyasa, one was Gargacharya, and the third one is Shandilya Maharshi. Now this entire text is given out by Narada Maharshi to us. What does he think of Bhakti? We should know. In fact, we felt like asking him. He knows we are going to ask. Devarshi, according to you, what is the main characteristic of Bhakti? We would like to know. Would have been the thought in all of us, and he knows also. That's the greatness of a teacher. Even before we can express our doubt or express or put forth a question, the teacher will understand our state of mind, and even before we can express ourselves, they would have clarified our doubt, or they would have answered our question even before we can put it across to them. So over here, we also would definitely want to know what is Narada's opinion, or what is, according to Narada, what is the main characteristic of Bhakti. So in the 19th Sutra we have. So 19th Sutra, so according to Narada, what is the main characteristic of Bhakti? He says, according to Narada, Tad Arpita. Arpita means Arpana, to offer unto the Lord. What should we offer unto the Lord? Akila Charata. Akila means all. Capital A, capital L, double underline. So nothing should be left out. These activities I have offered to the Lord, but this activity is mine. I have not offered it onto the Lord. It should not be like that. So he said, according to him, tat arpita akila charata. Akila charata. So achara means to perform. So whatever activities we perform in our life, all of them without any exception, akila is the word used over there, without exception, all of them should be dedicated to or offered to the Lord. Is there just one part of it, according to Narada. So according to Narada, the main characteristic of bhakti is offering all our activities, physical, mental, intellectual, material, spiritual, secular or sacred, within the house, outside of the house, all our activities. What should we do with them? We should all dedicate it at the altar of the Lord, or we should offer it onto the Lord. That's one part. Then the next part, tad vismarane. Smarana means remembering. Tad vismarane means to forget. But now and then, yes, we do forget. We are very honest. We want to offer every little activity of ours to the Lord. We have made a resolution. But what to do now and then, we forget. Oh, I wanted to offer it to the Lord. I should have offered it to the Lord, but what to do? I went through the activity, but I forgot to offer it to the Lord. It can happen to all of us. So Narada says, tad vismarane. But supposing you forget to offer any one tiny little activity onto the Lord also, what should happen to us? It's not like, okay, chalega, theek hai. It's all right, I did not offer it. Never mind, next time I'll offer. That will continue every day then. When we leave it like that, when we are very cool and casual, it will multiply. Today we did not offer one activity, tomorrow we will not offer 5 activities to the Lord. And then we will justify it also. What to do? I was so preoccupied, I was so involved. It's okay, never mind, Lord will understand. Tomorrow onwards I will offer. So we take it like that. But Narada says, no. He says, tad vismarani. Supposing you forget to offer onto the Lord any of your activities, gross or subtle, thinking onwards. But because Anugalavu chinte, Purandara Vitalana chinte, I forgot to think of the Lord. So anything, even the tiniest of activity at all our equipment level, supposing we forget, what should happen to us? It shouldn't be, okay, never mind, tomorrow. He says, parama vyakulata. Vyakula means agitation. We should really feel very, very terrible. As though we have been, somebody has pushed our head into the water and we are struggling over there. Why? We can't breathe in water. Take me out, take me out. How we feel over there? Anxiety is there. We are so agitated. That sort of an agitation should happen to us. That much of an anxiety should happen to us. So it's not just vyakulata, parama vyakulata, he says. Supremost anxiety should come to us. Actually, it's a pain. We should feel the pinch over there. I should have offered it onto the Lord. I didn't. So there should be a terrible sense of pain in us. And how should it be? Insufferable pain. So that next time we will never ever forget. So vyakulata means all of this. An anxiety, an agitation. And they're always, anxiety and agitation is always accompanied by pain also. A pain in us. I did not do what I was supposed to do. I said I am a devotee of the Lord. I made a resolution saying that every little activity, whatever it be, small or big, gross or subtle, I will offer it onto the Lord. But what to do, I forgot. So it should leave in us a pain. Because when that happens, then we won't forget next time. Krishna says in the 9th chapter, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yadjuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam, he says. This is what Narada is telling us over here. Same thing Bhagavan is telling Arjuna over there in the Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you do, anything that you do, Yat karoshi, whatever comes into you, yadashnasi, ashnam means to eat. Eat doesn't mean only through the mouth. Whatever we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, whatever be our responses to the world outside, whatever be the type of activities that come out of us, physical, mental and intellectual. So thoughts also involved over there. Simple Krishna is making it over there. Just do it all, no thinking of me, offer it to me and do, he says. So we are supposed to do whatever we have been doing till now, nothing new. We needn't have to change our lifestyle or the way we have been living, the way we have been transacting in our day-to-day lives. All that we need to do is continue our activities but offer them all to the Lord. So he says, offer it onto me and then go ahead. Surrender and act is what Krishna is saying over there. Narada is also saying the same thing over here. So according to Narada, Akhila Acharana, all that we do in our life, how we conduct ourselves, means whatever activities we perform in our life, Akhila, all of them should be offered to the Lord. Which means consistently the Lord should be there in our mind. He should become the center. God-centered, we must do or perform all our activities. Right now we are all ego-centered and we perform our activities. It's all I, mine, I, mine. The Lord is saying, or Narada is saying over here, become God-centered and then perform your activities. Surrender onto the Lord and then go ahead with whatever be your activities. Never mind what they are, but surrender. Offer them all onto Him. And supposing we forget, because in the beginning, yes, we will all forget. Once, twice, thrice, so many times we don't mean to forget, but we forget. So therefore, he says, at that point of time, the moment you forget, you should feel within you a parama vyakulata. If that happens in us, immediately we will be able to again align ourselves onto the right track. It's like the musician who sings with the tambura shruti background. Through and through and through it should be there. Whenever she is singing so many different songs, maybe different languages, songs by different composers. So the raga is different, the speed is different, the tala is different, the bhava is also different, the mood of the song. All are different. But in and through all of them, a musician, whoever he be or she be, constantly is connected to the background shruti, the tambura shruti over there. Never ever can they get dissociated with that. Constantly it should be there. They are connected. We will not know, but they are well connected to it. Slightly when they are playing on the tambura, if they find a small little variation in it, they are so sensitive, super sensitive. Immediately they will rectify it to the particular pitch that they want. And when they are singing, we will never hear the background shruti over there, because they are singing over the mic over there. But they are always connected. So just as a musician is constantly connected to the background hum over there, to the shruti, similarly whatever be our activities, whether it is secular or whether it is sacred, whether it is materialistic or whether it is spiritual or whether it is a ritual, whatever it be, Narada is saying over there, just offer them all onto the Lord. Don't think whether this is a materialistic activity, should I offer it to the Lord or not. If it is spiritual, yes, I will offer it onto Him. Offer everything onto Him. All, Akhila. And supposing you forget, at some point of time, this is an exercise that has been given to us. Because Narada knows that we will all forget. How many times every year we have taken resolutions? I will do this year. How many times we have taken resolutions and broken it also? So constantly we do forget. So if we forget, it should not be, it's okay, I forgot. That attitude should not be there. We should be very serious about what we are doing. So therefore he says over here, whenever we forget, chances are we will forget, and very often we will forget to offer it onto the Lord. We have to surrender and act. What we will do is we will act, and then suddenly we will realize we have not surrendered onto the Lord. Finish off the act part, finish off the activity, and then say, Lord, Lord, see, I should have surrendered onto you and then performed the activity, but what to do? I finished performing it now. So constantly that surrender and act should be there. Normally what we do, if at all we do, is act and then we surrender. So therefore, so all activities should be surrendered onto the Lord, our Ishta Devata, whoever it be. And supposing we forget, at some point of time, Parama Vyakulata should happen to us. That means we are very, very alert, we are very, very vigilant. That awareness should be there, very cautiously at the mental level. We should be able to catch the mind when it forgets, to offer whatever it's going to do to the Lord. So alert we must be that in case we forget, we should feel terrible about ourselves. Oh, I did not do this at all. It's actually like as though we have done something terrible, grave sin. A sin we have committed, a crime we have committed. Vyakulata should happen to us. Restless we should feel. As though somebody has pushed our head into water over there and we can't breathe. Anxiety we should feel. Very anxious we should feel. Agitated we should feel. So sometimes that is good also, only because it will help us to get back onto the right track. So therefore he doesn't say Vyakulata, he says Parama Vyakulata. Extremely we should feel restless, or extremely we should feel that anxiety in us. I forgot, I should not have forgotten. So according to Narada over here, this is the characteristic of Bhakti, one of the characteristics of Bhakti. In the 20th Sutra, it says, Asti evam evam. So it's like endorsing it. This is the style of the sutras, the style of the scriptures also. Sometimes when they want to emphasize, they will say, so be it. It's like saying, so be it. It's like saying, well done, or good, or yes it is, yes it is. Because so many other acharyas' opinions have been taken over here. Therefore, to emphasize it, to endorse it, and to give it an authenticity, here in this 20th Sutra, small little sutra, it is said, Asti evam evam. Let it be as it is. As it has been described, means it is true. It is authentic. It has the seal of authority on it. Because we can question everything. Narada said like this, but Vyasa Bhagavan said like this, but Gargacharya said but. So no buts, no ifs over there. What they have told is authentic. What they have told is authority on the characteristics of Bhakti. So it's like saying, emphasizing over there, so be it, so be it. It's exactly as it is supposed to be, is what this sutra means over here. So after that, in the 21st Sutra, now we want a demonstration of whatever till now the characteristics of Bhakti have been told to us. Like we had Vyasa Bhagavan, Gargacharya, Shandilya Maharshi and Narada Maharshi telling us or giving to us what according to them was the important characteristic of Bhakti. So each one of them gave us one factor. But if we really think about it, none of them are separate from each other. None of them will exist without the other. They all exist together. Each one of them is linked with the other. So now we want a demonstration of it. This is the theory class. So in a science class, always physics, chemistry, biology, Whenever the teacher takes the theory class, they will immediately take us to the lab over there and they will demonstrate. An experiment will be done to demonstrate, or they will make us do the experiment. So that whatever they have taught us in the theory class, we can see it happening over there. So the characteristics of bhakti have been given to us by different acharyas. We want a demonstration. Is there a devotee who's got all these characteristics? We would like to know. Yes, there is what the 21st Sutra is telling us. Which devotee or devotees have been taken up in the 21st Sutra who has all these characteristics of bhakti as given out by all these various acharyas? We will see in the next class.